August 2nd. You're welcome here. Grab a coffee and let's get smarter together. Today, something a little different. A little pearl clutching. A rebuttal to the talk Prices as Cognitive Glue given by Benjamin Lyon that can be found in the YouTube content of Michael Levine's academic content. Who has followed me for some time now knows that I'm a big fan of the work done at Dr. Levine's lab at Tufts University. But I see two fundamental problems with the idea that is developed by Lyon on the basis of this work. One, the whole idea is based on the origin myth of the economics of money, very clearly expressed in the line from the talk, "At this point it's all just elementary linear algebra. You can just see all the combinations you can buy. So at this point it's just up to you and your competencies to pick the best of all available combinations of resources that you want to purchase, which is in fact what intelligence is all about. You have a lot of alternative ways of achieving a goal state and you are trying to pick the best one." But this myth has been rebuked by anthropologists. Money came about when violence limited the choices of how humans can achieve a goal state. Without violence, which is still present in the monopoly on violence which defines sovereignty, the decisive element that constitutes a state, people use their intelligence to choose differently. Price's woes can at best only be forced cognitive glue. What's still questionable since humans use embodied cognition and not enlightened reasoning. Second, in the background of the idea is the implicit assumption that we can reason our way into a collective intelligence and to a new higher level agent that will bend the option space of the lower level agents, also known as bring humans in line. But from all the lower level patterns that merged to higher level patterns we can observe, elemental particles to nucleus to atom to molecule to cells to multicellular beings, we know that apart from the lowest levels where the strong force acts, electromagnetism provided the glue. So back to my first argument. The typical story told by economists about the origin of the money economy with markets and prices, and I should know as my law degree is accompanied by a minor in economics, as well as I hold a degree in physical therapy for the science, is one that always starts with the imponderability of barter. For a century now, anthropologists have pointed out, though, that this standard economic history version has little to do with anything they observed when they examined how economic life is actually conducted. The barter world is a fantasy of those who knew nothing but money, imagining a world without it. And by that I mean Adam Smith in 1776. Who brought the discipline of economics into being. He argued that property, money and markets were the very foundation of human society. For that he pointed at a certain propensity in the human nature he felt he had detected to track, barter and exchange one thing for another. Humans left to their own devices, according to him, will inevitably begin swapping and comparing things. Even logic and conversation are really just forms of trading, and as in all things, humans will always try to seek their own best advantage, to seek the greatest profits they can from the exchange. In the real world, archaeologists have revealed that our ancestors lived in large, sometimes continent-spanning networks, not small groups that constantly beat each other up or try to get the best of each other. Anthropologists revealed that the people in these networks gave without expecting an immediate trade-off. Motives were generally assumed to be complex. What was missing was any sense that the most selfish motive was necessarily the real one. People even remained purposefully in debt with each other to have reason to interact with each other again and exchange information, as information is energy, so exchange energy. That was not because we couldn't calculate how many of X go into Y. This kind of math, along with geometry, is already used for weaving, the production of ceramics, and the erection of houses, at least since after the Ice Age. None of these people were as impressed by this to conclude, as Pythagoras did, that mathematical ratio were the key to understanding the nature of the universe and thus human beings. What changed was the emergence of impersonal markets at the beginning of the Excel Age, a period thanks to the need of Uber explorers to maintain their identity by offering entertainment to their retainers and gaining ever more slaves, of generalized warfare with, for the first time, professional soldiers that demanded to be kept well and compensated well. It made it possible to treat even neighbors as if they were strangers and led to a radical simplification of motives. Profit. Motive, profit. The thing is, though, humans didn't change. We think in frames and metaphors. We do mirroring, what means we use part of the same data to create ourselves in the self-generated model of the world that we use to represent another being. So their goals become ours. We need emotions to be rational, and ideas are made meaningful for us via the brain's connection to the body and our embodied experience, like the experience of violence and or the threat thereof. They limit our ancestors' option space between 800 BC and 680. We still live with this limited option space to achieve a goal state, with price representing what limits us. Back to my second argument. All matter strives to get in its lowest energy state, while it's at an equilibrium with its surroundings. To accomplish this, all matter must end up in one big, huge pattern. It happens step by step though. Lower level patterns merge to shape higher level patterns or higher level collective intelligences, using a certain mechanism that glues them together. Humans, as a pattern made up of cells, are a lower level pattern, and the goal of our existence is it to become part of a higher level pattern, a bigger collective intelligence. To achieve this in a stable fashion, to become a part of a pattern that itself can become part of an even higher level pattern, the glue must come from within us. And Dr. Levine's lab has proven with the embryos that become a collective intelligence to heighten their chance of survival that this mechanism, this glue, exists inside us and that it is electromagnetic in its origin. And I guess what we see when humans work together, interact and exchange information energy is much more the sign of that at work than any external factor. Explore, also known as think. Make a habit out of thinking. Let's turn thinking into the norm again. Like, comment, share, and follow, lest you miss a single opportunity to improve yourself and society. Once you do, we meet again at the coffee pot.